Autumn or fall is a great time of year. It's a time of transition from picking the last of your summer crops to preparing and planning for next season. In this video and the next few videos, I'll be talking you through some of the jobs you can be doing in October. And obviously it's October now, so I'll be showing you and giving you some tips along the way of some of the jobs you can be doing, from picking seeds to planting seeds, to tidying up your beds, to splitting crops, and lots of other things in between as well. So I'm looking forward to sharing all that with you. Now, the first thing I want to do is just to check on our outdoor tomatoes and our indoor tomatoes for that matter, because we've had some blight on the allotments, and so I'm going to just check our tomatoes. If you haven't already taken out your tomatoes, check your tomatoes now for any signs of blight, and I'll take you with me now to check ours. Well, these are our outdoor tomatoes, and it was just a matter of time before the dreaded blight set in. So some of them are okay, but these ones here are quite soft, so they're not fit to eat at all. But some of them, not too bad at all. So all these need to come out today because it's spreading already on other tomatoes. Some look okay, some are not. So they can all come out. They won't be going on the compost heap, but they'll be taken in a black bag and going home with me today. Sadly, we've noticed blight on our indoor tomatoes as well, on our tomatoes in the polytunnel. So I'm going to pick these first. We're going to leave these a couple of days and just remove the outdoor ones for now, because these are not as bad as the outdoor ones, and it looks like we've got blight over there, but it soon spread, so within the next couple of days all these will be coming out as well, sadly. But Doug's quite happy because he's really keen to start on the staging. Doug will be doing the staging over this side of the polytunnel. We've got the sweet potatoes there in the corner, so he's going to try and work around those. And like I said, these will be coming out anyway, so whether they come out today or in the next few days, we'll see. But I will be picking all the ripe tomatoes off there today. If Doug really needs this space, then I'll take those out as well. But I'll pick these tomatoes first, and then I'll work on the outdoor ones then, and remove the blight. Not remove the blight, remove the blighted tomato plants. So that's one of the priority jobs. If you've got blight on your tomatoes, they need to come out as soon as possible. Pick off the ripe tomatoes, and the green tomatoes, if they're still okay, you can ripen them at home, put them in a brown paper bag, that's what I usually do, with a banana, and that'll help ripen them. But keep a check on them and make sure that none of the tomatoes got in, none of the blights got into the tomatoes. If you haven't done it already, it's a good time now to close your polytunnel doors and your greenhouse door to avoid any strong winds. And we've already had Storm Amy a couple of weeks ago, so it'll help to keep your polytunnel and your greenhouse intact, fingers crossed, during any more storms. Another job is to split and do any replanting of your crops, such as strawberry. Now is the time to plant any strawberry runners, and our lovely plot neighbour Jilly, one of our lovely plot neighbours from just down the way there, has given me some strawberry plants. And last year I thought it was a good idea to grow aqualegia in amongst my strawberries, because I thought we'll have the flowers in the spring, then the strawberries in the summer. But the aqualegia just took over. So it's time to take those out now and have this raised bed here as a strawberry bed as intended. So I'm going to dig up the plants that's already here, the strawberry plants, put those to one side. I'm going to put the ones that Jilly gave me because they are nice Cambridge strawberries. So I don't want to get them mixed up if I can help it. So I'll put as many of those as I can in there. And then the other strawberry plants that were here, I'll put those to one side or in another bed. So let me show you anyway how it's looking at the moment. This is the strawberry bed here. One of our strawberry beds, because we've got a few strawberry beds. And this is the one where I planted the Aquilegia in amongst the strawberries. So I'm going to dig out all the Aquilegia plants and the strawberry plants and any weeds in amongst it, and help replenish the soil by putting some manure on there and some bloodfish and bone before planting the nice new ones that we had off Jilly, one of our lovely plot neighbours. Another job for October is to start saving your bean seeds. Now this is the collapsed archway. We've just propped it up for now, just to dry off the seeds. Some of them are already dry, so you need to leave them till they dry in their pods. And if you shake them, then you can hear them rattle. So some are already there, ready for picking, and some we need to dry off. So we've just propped up the archway for now. And also the Blauhilde beans. I'll show you those next. Now these are the Blauhilde beans that I left go to seed. Now the leaves on these Blauhilde beans are gone quite manky, for want of a better word. So those I'm going to be picking as well. And I'll take them home and leave them dry off at home, because these bamboo canes need to come out now, because we've got plans for this bed. Now's the time for planning and preparing for next season. So we'll be doing some of that as well. October is a good month for removing your perennial plants, such as bedding plants, and splitting those as well. And this one here is blocking the pathway leading down to the compost heaps. Here we've got the herb bed, and that needs attention. I've already collected the parsnip seeds from a few of these plants here that you'll see all dried up. And now you can take cuttings off your rosemary, from your lavender, and splitting your chives. Now's the time to split chive plants as well. That's the chive plant there. And also you can split your thyme plants too. While we're here at the herb bed, besides sorting all this bed out, I have an abundance of sage plants. So now is the time to pick some bunches of sage and take them home and dry them, ready to use over the winter, because they do die back a bit and we're always struggling then to find sage. So that's another job that'll be getting done this month. This month is also a time for saving other seeds, flower seeds, sweet pea seeds. I've already saved some, still got a few more to pick off the plants that were dry in there before I remove the plants. So that'll be another tidying up job to do. And I just noticed some other seeds that need picking. I'll show you those now. So these are fennel seeds here, and you can use those in cooking. I quite like to chew on them as well. So it's a bit damp today, so I won't be picking them today, but we've got a few dry days coming up, so it'll be time for picking those then, and probably the Blauhilde beans as well. In my last video, I was sowing some seeds, some October seeds you can sow now, and I'll pop that at the end of the video. But for now, one of the things that I mentioned was planting garlic and onions. And in this bed by here, this bed here has been prepared. So Doug was busy yesterday raking in some horse manure, some rotted down horse manure, 2 years old, I believe, into this bed here, and that bed there, that's got the leeks in. So by there we'll be doing the garlic, and this bed here is for the shallots and the onions. We've still got a few things growing in these beds here that we'll be harvesting over the next few weeks, and then these 2 beds will be getting prepared as well. I do like to give things a chance, but I think the sunflowers have had it now. They're trying hard to flower, those ones by there, but I think these do need to come out now. I don't think we're going to get any more flowers on these, so that's another job to do. Take out all your dead flowers, your dead perennial flowers. Now, I've mentioned broccoli before. If you leave your broccoli in after you've harvested the main plant, you'll get side shoots of broccoli coming up, and even though the leaves on these don't look the healthiest, they're still producing broccoli. And that one there I've left go to seed to save seed, so those will be ready probably the end of October, beginning of November. In this bed here are elephant garlic, and I did grow these mainly for the flowers, and they are pretty purple flower heads on earlier on in the season. These are really gone to seed now, and they were planted in amongst the foxgloves, but I will be pulling these up sometimes this week. So if you haven't already pulled up your elephant garlic, pull up your elephant garlic now, cure it in a dry, warm place, and then that'll be ready for planting this month, the end of the month, into November. But this garlic here, I won't be eating at all because, like I said, it was planted in amongst the foxgloves. Foxgloves are poisonous plants. But when I plant it elsewhere next season, then should be okay to be eaten. But check on it first before you do go eating it. I think it'll be fine. I will be replanting some of the cloves though, because I'm hoping to pull up some bulbs, and I'll be replanting some of the cloves again, either in amongst the foxgloves, but probably elsewhere. I thought it was a good idea at the time, but I don't think I would plant it amongst the foxgloves again because it's a bit dodgy. It's a bit dodgy. Behind me there is the bird feeding tower, and during the summer months they didn't really need it. There was plenty of berries and things around for them to eat. But now in the winter month, probably next month, I'll start feeding them again, start putting bird seed there, because there won't be so much food around for them. There's still a few berries around now. I noticed we still got some blackberries there, and you know, they're able to eat some of the fruit and things as well as on the bushes. But next month, I think, is going to be the month, that's November, we'll be able to start feeding them again. Here's our sweet pea plants, and you can see they're all ready to come out now. There's hardly any life left in them, and there's still a few pods there to pick. So I'll pick those dry pods and they can come out. So now's the time to take out your sweet peas and things. And also now's the time to pot up your dahlias and start thinking about taking those indoor, especially if you know there's a frost coming. Ours are already in pots, so as soon as I know we've got frost on the way, they'll be going in the polytunnel. We've still got some flowers growing on the plot. Some are hardier than others. The cosmos you see at the back there, a little bit of frost and they'll probably be gone. But we've still got some other plants growing here. Some will last a bit longer through some of the frost, as long as it doesn't get too cold. Here you can see some chrysanthemums, these little plants here. And some I bought myself when we went to the garden centre, and some of them Danny from the Grow Up channel kindly bought for me. As I mentioned, this is a month you can take some cuttings as well, and this was a hebe plant that came from a cutting, and also these hebe plants here were also from cuttings. So I shall keep these going and take more cuttings. Now we're very fortunate in our old polytunnel to still have some cucumbers growing. So they look quite, well, this looks quite healthy. They're still flowering, so I'm going to leave that a bit longer. But now's the time to think about picking your fruits off there as well, especially when the leaves start dying back. In this polytunnel, we've also got some Bishop's Hat chilies, and they're coming on nice, but I'm waiting for them to go red. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But fingers crossed they will before the frosts. Now, in my last video, I showed you the broad beans that I sowed, and they're coming up lovely now, as are some of the salad crop leaves. So we've got the Mizuna there, mustard there, salad bowl mix, salad bowl red. The Claytonia's coming up now. No sorrel yet, but the rocket's making a bit of an appearance, as are the salad leaf mixed spicy leaves. The calabrese seeds are coming up, and the cabbage seeds are coming up. And I can see one little parsley seed coming up as well. So they're all starting to germinate now. I will be covering over the broad beans though. There's a cover up there and a cover at the back there, so that the rats don't get hold of them like they did last year. Before I do anything else, I'm going to harvest this broccoli. I keep forgetting to do it, and before you know it, it'll end up like this. So I'm going to start doing that now. And this one looks as if it's ready to go to seed already, but I think I might have just about saved that one. So this is how ideally how you want to be picking it, is like that. So I'm going to pick the rest of it because it'll keep in the fridge for a few days anyway, and I'll be using it up in a few days. So there's a few little bits of broccoli to pick. Those little white flies are around. I was hoping somebody'd eat them, but they're still around, and maybe a bit of cold weather will do the trick. Right, there's still bits and bobs left on there, but I'm going to leave those on there. Right, any more over this side? There's not a lot here, but there's enough for a meal. Right. Yeah, still a few bits and bobs, so I'll leave it in a bit longer, because in this bed, we're hoping to clear this within the next few weeks as the broad beans grow, because some broad beans are going to go in this bed and some in the next bed along. So this is where they'll be going. But we've got some cabbage that's growing back as well. We did have some Savoy cabbage, but we got some cabbage leaves on there as well. But we decided we're going to put the broad beans in here. So I'm afraid they're going to have to go. But I may replant them somewhere else. Whether they'll take or not, I don't know. But I'll probably pick some of the leaves off before I do that. So at least we'll have some picking off the cabbage. So there's a broccoli there. It's not a bad little picking, is it? And I'll show you the cabbage now. So these were Savoy cabbages, and they're growing back. I think these was, oh no, they might have been collie actually, but you can eat the leaves of the collie. I got a feeling they were collie, and these were Savoy cabbage, because you can see the frilly leaf inside there. So yeah, we'll have a little picking off there soon for our next Sunday dinner. This kale was planted last year, and it seems to be really hardy. So we've got some leaves that are edible, and there's some there with holes that I wouldn't eat. They've been eaten away, and I've been giving those to another plot neighbour, Pauline, for a tortoise, and she sent me a picture, and here it is. So there's Doug. He's making a start on the staging. He's almost got one of the legs done, and then we'll be putting a wooden shelf on there later. He's just checking it's nice and level. Look at the size of this one. That's a beauty. Look at that. That's a crimson blush. They don't go dark red, they've just got a nice blush colour. So we'll pick these first, and then we'll get down and pick the San Marzano ones, because I know we've got quite a few of those on the plants. Look at that, there's a tomato next to it and it's full of mould, so that plant definitely needs to come out. And what are we putting that with my other tomatoes? There's that tomato, look, it's full of mould, so that definitely needs to come out and got rid of. We've got a nice pile of San Marzano tomatoes to pick there and at the back there. So I'll be picking those next. Well, the blight was worse than I thought, and even on some of the San Marzano tomatoes, they were falling off as I was picking some of them because they had blight already on the tomatoes. So I picked the whole lot. Some I managed to save, a few I didn't, and you know, to be fair, a lot I saved. So I thought I'll pick the whole load of the tomatoes in the polytunnel today, which is what I've done. So the green ones, I'll ripen those at home. Some are on the turn, half and half. Again, I'll ripen those at home, and some are already ripe. So, well, we have had a good picking of tomatoes. I can't grumble though. We've had loads and loads of tomatoes. Our freezer is chocker with all the tomatoes and beans that we've picked. So I'm well happy with that. So I haven't even started on the outdoor one yet, but I need to get these in the car because I'm not going to have room to take it all later on. So I'll head over to the car now, and then I'll make a start on the outdoor tomatoes. This is some of the foliage off the tomatoes from the one side so that Doug can carry on doing the staging. Well, the first thing I need to do is to move all these branches out of the way. They're from the thornless blackberries, and it's not the right time of year to cut them back yet and do the pruning. So I'm just going to move them out of the way. Then I'm going to dig up the Aquilegias first. I've already got a bucket of water here, a bucket of rainwater. So I'm going to pop those in there, then dig up the strawberries before I prepare the bed. Oh. This is easier said than done. They're well rooted in here. They're well established. And I've just noticed there's a load of little seedlings at the back as well. Oh. Might have to try pulling. Oh, oh gosh. The thing is, I don't want the flowers overtaking this bed because this is a good bed for the strawberries and plenty of other places I can put flowers. I mean, the flower bed by here is a waste really, because you can hardly, it's only when we come down to the polytunnel we're going to see them. So like I said, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Oh God, I don't know, am I going to get these out of here? I think the strawberries will be easier to get out than these. Oh, well there's one. I've got a label on it, it says pink. It's a pink one, that is. Handy labelling them, so remind you what colours they are. Actually, I could put all the same colour together, couldn't I? That's a purple one. Oh, it doesn't matter, as long as they got the labels on them. I thought this was going to be an easy job, so I'll see you back when I've completed this in a couple of hours' time. So these are strawberry runners. So in effect, these come off the main plant, and they're joined by this. Now I've cut all those off the other plants and I have planted them. In effect, they're new plants, so they should produce some nice strawberries this next year and for a few years. The soil was quite good here, so 1 bag of manure mixed in with the soil did the trick. When replanting strawberries, bury the roots, but make sure you leave the growing tip intact. As I showed you earlier, these seed heads are coming from the elephant garlic. So what I thought I'd do is chop off the seed heads, put them in a cardboard box to dry off, and I may even sow those in amongst the elephant garlic when I come to replant it. So I'll chop off the seed heads and then we'll chop down the stalks a bit. And I'm dying to have a look to see if we have actually got some elephant garlic underneath here. And I'll be digging that up to have a look and drying that off and curing it and replanting that later on this month or maybe even into November. These were so pretty when they were in flower. They were like a purpley colour and they looked so pretty. That was the main reason I grew them, really. But elephant garlic is just so expensive at the moment to buy. We saw some in the garden centre and it was $3.99 for just 2 cloves, and I believe people are paying even more than that as well. So sitting on a bit of a gold mine here. The thing is though, once you've got a couple of cloves, in a few years' time you can end up with loads, you know, because I only started off with a few bulbs I was kindly given, and they were more mono bulbs, but last year they split, and so I had some nice cloves. So I'm hoping underneath here we've got some elephant garlic with cloves, but it doesn't matter. And as I mentioned earlier, I won't be eating this garlic this year, but once I plant it elsewhere it'll be fine because it is in amongst the foxgloves. So I've decided not to replant the elephant garlic here again, even though it looked really pretty in flower, but I'll plant it elsewhere. And in amongst the foxgloves now anyway, we've got some gladioli coming along. In fact, there's not many foxgloves in here now. They are biennial plants, which means to say if you sow the seed one year, they flower the following year. But there are a few plants here, the aquiledias, that are growing amongst the strawberries in that bed. I might replant those over here. So I haven't quite decided yet, so I'm still thinking about that. So that's one thought anyway, because we can see them then when we're sat down having a cuppa. So I'll think about that one. Anyway, I've cut all the seed heads off. So now, no, I'll cut off the stalks next, and then we'll have a look to see what's growing underneath.
In the garden where the leaves fall down, we gather round to clean up this town. With rakes and shovels, we work side by side, tend to our roots where our joys abide. The whispers of the wind, they guide our hands, preparing in the earth for fruitful lands. Come on, let's plant so the future bright. With every seed we drop, we ignite. In our gardens full of hope.
Well, there's the seed heads that I collected. I've got a basket full of elephant garlic. Now the thing is, while some of the cloves are still intact, like that, a lot of them are breaking away, and I'll show you now. A lot are breaking away, but they've got loads of roots, so I think they're ready for planting already without being cured. So there's one of the bulbs with the elephant garlic, and as you can see, if I take one off there, it's full of roots. So I would say instead of curing this, what I might do now is just plant it straight away. So I need to keep these roots moist, and they need to be planted up ASAP. So whether I do that today or tomorrow, try and keep the roots wet somehow. Oh God, it was a lot harder than I thought, because I was using the trowel and it wasn't catching the mustard. I had to get the spade on them. But then I did slice through a few, but never mind. I've got loads. So I think what I'll do, thinking about it, I'll plant some now, and I will leave some dry off, and then they can be planted on later on next month then. Oh God. Anyway, that's the elephant garlic from this bed all dug up. Before I get round to tidying up the herb bed, I thought I'd take some rosemary cuttings, because we've only got one plant and it's starting to get a bit leggy now, and it's also starting to flower. So what I'm looking for now is branches that are not flowering. If you do come across them, they're starting to flower, as long as you can strip the flowers off. If they're flowering at the bottom, strip the flowers off the bottom and they should still be okay, because they will root better if there isn't any flowers on there. So anyway, I'll show you what I'm doing now. So we're looking for a nice long branch between 6 to 10 inches. That one is starting to flower a little bit there, look. You can see those are flowering. But I'll show you what I'm going to do afterwards. I need about 10 cuttings really. And because of what I'm going to do 5 in a pot, and I'm going to root 5 in water. And we'll see which does the best. So it's hard to find a lot of, I was hoping to do that experiment today. It's looking a bit wonky, that one. It's a shame it's starting to flower. It's already flowered once this year. There's still time to do your cuttings now. I just want to demonstrate. So it's 1, 2. Ah, there we are. That's it. Right, so I've got my cuttings. And what I'll do, I'll just separate them out. So I got 5 to do in the water and 5 to do in the compost. And I'll bring you in a bit closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Right, this is really easy. All you need to do is just literally just strip off the bottom leaves and then just leave a few at the top and then pop them in the water. That's all you need to do. And they'll take up to 4 weeks to root. So these are a bit too long, that. Because ideally you need to up to the bottom leaves. Now that might be a bit too short. And then just change this water. You can either use rainwater, ideally rainwater, or just tap water. Now I did manage to get 11 cuttings after, and so it's easy, just stripping them off with your fingers. Just take off a tiny bit more there. Right, I took a bit too many leaves off there, but it'll be fine. No, that's not ideal. Six to 10 inches, I would say, depending on the size of your jar or your glass that you're rooting them in. And what I'll do, I'll take these home so that they're in the warm. But these I will be putting in the polytunnel. But you can, of course, put them on a windowsill at home. So I'll just prepare them first. So doing the same sort of thing there. Just leaving some leaves on the top and cutting off the bottom. Yeah, that's about right, I think. There's a few branches on there, but I'll just strip all those away. It's really, really easy to do. It might be too long, is it? I'll chop a little bit more off that one. If you think they're too long, because ideally I'd like that leaf to be just touching the top of the soil. Doesn't matter if it's not. I'm a bit concerned with this one because it's showing signs of flowering. So we've got 5 here to go in the pot. So I'll put 4 on the outside and 1 in the middle. So it can take up to 4 weeks, if not longer, depending on how warm it is really. So what I'm going to do is, actually I've used this water, dip it in the water and then dip it in the rooting powder. Now the thing is, shake it off, you don't really need rooting powder. I just thought I would give them a bit more of a chance. So I'm using just a pencil to make the hole because I don't want the all the rooting powder to come off. If I would just poked it in like that, then the rooting powder would come off. So like I said, you don't really need rooting powder, and I've done many cuttings without rooting powder. Actually, I could do doing that a bit shorter. That one could have been a bit shorter as well, but never mind. So just dip it in a rooting powder, tap it off, and then place it in your hole. It's quite a bit on there really. You don't need as much as that on there. You chop a bit more off there in the water, in the rooting powder. There we are, and that's all there is to it really. So it's as simple as that. So we'll check in a few weeks' time to see how they've got on. So we'll be checking that now sometime in November. So hopefully we'll have some roots on there. You'll be able to see them in the jar. And then obviously once they've rooted, they need to be potted up. And we'll have a look and see how these are getting on as well. Because you can take cuttings in the spring, and that's great. This will give you an early start and they'll be established much sooner. As I was walking past earlier on, I spotted the seeds in the garlic chives, and they're going to just drop off at any time. So I've got myself an envelope. I've written garlic chives on there. So I thought I'd show you how easy it is to collect the seeds from the garlic chives. So can you see the black there? That's the seeds. So all you need to do is bend the seed head over and just shake it into your envelope or your brown paper bag or whatever you're collecting your seeds in. Now you can take the whole head off and just leave it in the bag, but I don't need that many seeds, so I'll just collect the ones that's loose. And this is a good example, that one there. They're going to drop off at any time. So I thought, well, it's a shame really to lose them all. May as well collect some. Now it's taken some of the coating that's around the seeds with it. I collected some of these back last year, but I didn't plant any because we've already got quite a few on the plot. So I'm only going to collect a few. It's just to show you really. See, so ideally, the easiest way really is just to take off the whole seed head, pop it in and let it dry that way. And the seeds, they'll just fall out anyway. So there's the seeds there, the black of the seeds. Well, plenty more jobs to be done in October through to November. Thanks for watching.